Welcome to the Morning Download Podcast, your go-to resource for personal finance, economics, and market insights. In just 8 minutes a day, we provide valuable information to help you make better money decisions. Don't forget to sign up for our free newsletter at https://www.morningdownload.com/subscribe. Let's dive right in. In today's episode, we'll cover the unlikely rate cut by the Federal Reserve, Nvidia's impressive Q3 performance and challenges faced, Binance's exit from the US and legal consequences, the benefits and limits of HSAs for tax-free medical savings, and the concept of wealth and poverty stemming from different efforts and results.
We've got an exciting lineup for you in today's podcast, so let's dive straight into it. It seems that the Federal Reserve isn't planning on cutting interest rates anytime soon. This comes as a surprise to the market, which was expecting a cut. As a result, stocks took a hit, with both the Nasdaq and S&P ending their winning streaks. The reason behind this decision is that inflation is still above the central bank's target of 2%. In fact, it was at 3.7% in September. The Fed believes that the policy needs to remain restrictive until inflation shows a convincing trend back towards their desired goal. In addition to this news, officials are also predicting slower economic growth in the fourth quarter. They expect it to slow down significantly from the 4.9% increase seen in Q3. On a global scale, Nordstrom sales have fallen short, reflecting the pressures faced by the broader retail industry. Other companies like Best Buy and American Eagle are also experiencing similar issues. However, Abercrombie and Amp Fitch seems to be preparing for a successful period. In another development, Ford is scaling back its plans for a $3.5 billion Michigan battery plant due to disappointing electric vehicle demand and rising labor costs. Lastly, Asia markets have fallen after the release of the Fed minutes, which showed no indication of rate cuts. And let's not forget that home sales have also fallen to a 13-year low in October, while prices continue to rise. Nvidia has just released its impressive fourth quarter results, and boy did they surpass analysts' expectations. Revenue and income were through the roof. Nvidia's revenue has grown an astonishing 206% year over year during the third quarter. Just let that sink in for a moment. Net income also saw a significant boost, jumping from $680 million to $24 billion. That's a huge leap. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows for Nvidia. They do face some obstacles like competition from AMD and export restrictions that affect their GPU sales in China. However, the company remains optimistic. They stated that GPU demand is still soaring, especially with the increasing adoption of Gen AI across different industries. And let's not forget about the stock market. Nvidia's stock has been on an absolute tear this year, soaring a whopping 241%. That's way ahead of the S&P 500 index, which is up only 18% over the same period. All in all, it's clear that Nvidia is on a roll. Their impressive financials and market performance speak for themselves, and they seem poised for continued success. Binance is saying goodbye to the US. The company's CEO, Changpeng Zhao, stepped down and admitted to breaking some serious anti-money laundering rules in the US. Now here's the thing. Binance was never even a US-based exchange. But that didn't stop them from getting themselves into some trouble. It turns out that Binance's compliance chief actually acknowledged that the exchange had been linked to funding for Hamas in 2019. Yikes. And if that wasn't bad enough, cybercriminals took advantage of Binance by transferring a whopping $106 million from a Russian darknet marketplace into Binance wallets. The authorities eventually shut down the site, but Binance failed to stop this and other illegal activities. So what's the consequence? Well, Binance has agreed to pay a hefty $3 billion in fines, making it one of the largest settlements in U.S. corporate history. And Mr. Zhao himself will shell out $50 million and step down as CEO. Ouch. Now, we're still waiting to hear about Binance's future plans, but it's unlikely that they'll go down the same path as FTX, another crypto exchange that collapsed. The news of Binance's troubles hit the crypto industry hard, with prices of almost all coins taking a nosedive. Binance Coin alone fell around 10% following the announcement. So, yeah, not a great day for the crypto world. Today, let's dive into the topic of health savings accounts. HSAs, and how they can help you save money on taxes. These accounts are available in countries like the US, China, Singapore, and South Africa. So, what exactly are these? Well, they are savings accounts that work alongside high-deductible health insurance policies. They allow you to save money tax-free for medical expenses. However, to contribute to a health savings account, you must have a high-deductible health insurance plan. In simpler terms, these are like tax-deductible savings plans designed to set aside pre-tax money for your future health-related expenses. You set up an account with a trustee, and there are some terms and conditions to consider. Currently, there are no income limits for contributing to a health savings account, but the annual deductible limits are revised periodically. For example, in 2023, the limit is $1,500 for self-only coverage and $3,000 for family coverage. In 2024, it will increase to $1,600 for self-only coverage and $3,200 for a family plan. Now, let's talk about contribution limits. For self-only coverage, the limit is $3,850, and for family coverage, it's $7,750. Your employer can also match your contributions, and these amounts are included in the limits. If you are 55 or older, you can make an additional catch-up contribution of $1,000. When it comes to taxes, HSA contributions are tax-deductible and will not be included in your taxable income. You generally have until the tax filing deadline to make contributions. This is beneficial because you don't have to rely on itemized medical deductions, which have limitations. Plus, earnings such as dividends and interest are tax-exempt. It's important to note that contributions made by your employer cannot be claimed as a tax deduction, but can be excluded from your gross income. Now let's discuss withdrawals from your HSA. As long as they meet the eligibility requirements outlined in IRS Publication 502, they are tax-free. Have you ever thought about what wealth really means? Is it having a massive bank account and owning endless possessions? Well, today's personal finance quote might make you think twice. According to an unknown source, wealth is not just about the numbers in your account or the things you own. It's about the impact of your efforts. Think about it. Wealth is when even the smallest efforts can lead to big results. Imagine investing a small amount of money and watching it grow significantly over time. Or maybe starting a side hustle that starts generating a steady income stream. These are examples of how small actions can make a big difference in your financial situation. On the other hand, poverty is when you put in huge efforts, yet the results are disappointingly small. It's that feeling of working tirelessly but never quite getting ahead. We've all been there at some point, and it can be frustrating. But it's important to remember that it's not just about how much effort you put in. It's about how strategically you channel that effort. So let's focus on making every effort count. Instead of exhausting ourselves with big, overwhelming actions, let's identify where our small efforts can create the most impact. By doing so, we can slowly build wealth, overcome poverty, and achieve the financial results we desire. Remember, it's not the size of the effort that matters. It's the result it produces.
In today's episode, we discuss the unlikely rate cut, Nvidia's impressive performance in Q3, and the resignation of Binance's CEO, as well as the challenges faced by the global retail industry and Ford's scaled-back EV plans. And we delved into the tripled revenue of Nvidia, their competitive challenges, and stock success, followed by Binance's decision to exit the US and pay fines for violating anti-money laundering laws, while also exploring the benefits and limitations of HSAs and examining the connection between wealth and effort. Thanks for tuning into the Morning Download, your go-to podcast for personal finance, economics, and market insights in just 8 minutes a day. Don't forget to subscribe for more helpful content and sign up for our free newsletter at Morning Download. Subscribe.